where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action.
Hey everyone, welcome to the official Beyond All Reason stream. I'm Twig, joined by Pradith and Tank Tom, and today's a little different. No Kings, no Hill yet. Instead, we're here to celebrate a huge milestone for Bar, over 1 million downloads. We've got special matches, big plays, probably some of the biggest you've ever seen. And in the spirit of making it all fun, we've got the mods Flow and Nightmare around to host these games for us.
That's right, and you've just missed out on a very large ocean game, 30 versus 30, and I do believe the next rule is going to be ticks only. So you're going to have an interesting one to look at that. I do believe that the theme is 1 million, so if somebody puts a suggestion which gets you to 1 million in the chat or in the game, it may be considered, because this 1 million ticks idea came from somebody saying, why don't we make 1 million ticks?
Looks like we've got a poll going on the official bar Twitch for the next one to be King of the Hill or Event Shenanigans, and it's currently 80% for King of the Hill for the
Oh
next
dear.
game.
That is what happens when you put it in the time slot of an existing event. The audience for that event has rocked up and they want to see it, but we will determine how this one goes and we'll just play it by ear. I do believe this is an event that is being hosted by Nightmare, or at least set up by Nightmare, and so we'll be deferring to him throughout most of the course of the night.
Looks like we're in the middle of working out what's happening next. I'm assuming there's going to be some bits going on in the background for trying to work out what the next one is. What I'm kind of waiting to be sooner or later, we're going to have a whole heap of things happen in the lobby, and we'll go from there.
And as that happens, the lobby is continuing to expand. We did have 60 players for the previous match, and we're up to 70 now, and I'm sure that number will keep growing as the night goes on. We are a little on the early side for a lot of the EU and the US, and as that time ticks on, this event should start picking up momentum and going forward. While we're in this little bit of downtime, what do you reckon is the strategy for some of these bigger games? We've seen in the 50k event that a lot of these turn into some T3 absolute slogfests. If you're in this sort of matchup, Twig, what do you reckon is your go-to move now that you've had a bit of time to think on it and a bit of time to see how they run?
Well, they get bloody slow, and one thing I saw in the last game, someone started building jugs. They are a walking nuke, so if you can just get enough of them when it's that much of a heavy T3 game, slowly they'll blow themselves up all the way into the enemy's base. That's my go-to.
Fair call, fair call. Tank Tom, what is your go-to move in these big games, having cast a few and seen what is going on?
Normally when I'm playing, it's struggle. Whenever you're sitting back, you go, what would work really well here is if you just mass nukes, target fire at a single spot, and then wait for it to go pop, because you can get through all the anti-nukes, or at least hope for the best. But it's always going to be a struggle, kind of regardless of which strategy you go with, when you just end up with that much economy and such big front lines on both sides.
I like the plan. If you have any ability to have naval units and any of the extra naval packs are on, there are nuclear submarines available for, I do believe, at least Cortex, but I'm pretty sure there's one for Armada as well. So if you're going to be stacking nukes and you don't have the space to do it, that any sort of water is going to be the way to go. And a tiny little way of dealing with that if there is no water, and if you can dig down deep enough, there may well be, which is another use for those nukes. But if you're building them all on land, that is quite the space investment, and with everyone going on, that's going to be quite a rough one to punch in. Me personally, I do like the mass dragon pushes. We've seen quite a lot of those win a few of the games. But if you are in the water, then definitely that nuke strategy might be what you need. Something interesting we discovered while we were watching that previous game, though, was how you deal with the energy income in that situation. And as it turns out, the anti-nuke boats are quite an effective method for generating energy. So if you look at them, they're only 1400 metal and they generate 600 energy, though that might be because of the doubled resources. In fact, I think it was exactly because of doubled resources. So maybe they're not quite as efficient, but do bear in mind that they are something where having a few of those is never a bad idea in a game.
They do die easy. That's the obvious thing about them. You'd have to keep them back in your base if you want them to be just producing the energy, and they're of course a perfect anti-nuke.
So do your fusions as well. So potato. I wouldn't recommend putting any of your eco on the front line, although it's definitely happened more than once.
Yeah, especially from you, Tom.
When you live on the front line, you got nowhere else to go.
What do you mean it's happened?
Walked stuff all the way back into the corner.
So what's it looking like for this one? Are we doing the Tix game or are we doing the King of the Hill? It's currently a draw, 85 votes each on the official Twitch.
So looking at the Oasis...
Looks like we're doing Tix.
looking at the Oasis, it does have an energy production of 300 and a cost of 1400. And considering that a fusion is 3,500, that means that you're going to be fractionally less efficient building the Oasis, but at least you get your anti-nuke. Not to mention you can move them around if on a big map like we did see. If you want to run away from a lane that has been somewhat lost, that is an option too. So good one to bear in mind.
Looks like we're doing the ticks only on the special creek. They can't cross that creek though, can they?
They cannot.
Hope they've realised that, because you can watch one team wins north, one team wins south, and we're here for the next 3 hours just looking at a line of
And the
ticks staring at each
commanders
other.
just degun their way across and make a beachhead.
There you go. It does
There
look
we go.
like
That might work better.
the water level has been set to -100, and we've swapped over to all that glitters extended. I actually really like this map. Really good fun for the co-op shenanigans that we've done. The co-op shenanigans we've done in the past. It also makes for a really interesting 1v1v1v1 map, or 4-team map. I do believe I've seen you in one of those, Twig, where you were in the bottom right-hand side. And it makes for there's so much metal and so much space that it doesn't feel too dissimilar to a regular 8v8, but you have those two fronts, which is quite nice.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Tom, you jumping in this one?
Yeah, I was kind of just in the queue, and I figure if it's going to be nothing but ticks, it'll be get enough
fun.
economy, set up your labs, throw them in a direction, or probably more realistically, let them sit there for a while, build up a nice big mass, then throw them all at once and hope for the best.
Not
Well,
what I'm
I do like
expecting.
watching your Road to 25 games on our YouTube. You've always found pretty efficient early damage from ticks, so I reckon stick with your early raids. You got good micro
Yeah,
on
that's
them.
kind of what I'm hoping. If you can get in and set them back, then we'll be going well.
Do us a
The
favour though
getting
and put a
in
build
is going to
order
be
on one of your constructors to get some wind and conversion in the background, rather than like the perfectly micro ticks for 3 minutes and you go back and you're producing 100 energy and like 6 metal.
I'm getting much better at giving a constructor a command to basically walk to the edge of the map building wins, and then you give the other one the command to make a chunk of converters, which often don't all turn on for a while, but
it's better than nothing. It is better than nothing.
Yep.
It'll hold you to that 25, but I reckon if you run for 30, you're going to have to up your game on that one. Those little optimizations can make a big difference at the front, because once you start to win a fight, it tends to cascade further and further in your direction. Oh dear, it looks like we've just kicked 120 people out of the queue. So that's going to be an interesting one. The question is, will the lobby survive everyone rejoining? Because I know from past events that this is the danger zone. So for the moment,
kicked us from the lobby yet, so it might be okay. But yeah,
Hint Hunter
this is where we wait to see.
Hint Hunter in chat has called this exactly what it is. Yes, you're right. This is in fact some lobby sim. And right now we are in the true danger zone. The question is, can we filter all players back into the game safely? So we're going to be on the edges of our seats, and we're going to be counting as each and every one of these members makes their way into the game. Tank Tom, I would like you to count us in. So right now we have 8 every single time somebody jumps on in. I need you to say 9, then 10, etc. If you miss the count by 1, you are fired.
What's happening here? Oh, we've changed this
Many.
to King of the Hill because King of the Hill looks like it won the vote. Is that what's happening?
There we go.
There we go. And the lobby's gone down.
Happens every week.
Oh dear.
Oh, boy.
Now we go to our friends list, wait for something to pop up, and everyone to flood it all at once.
Very good.
Or
very
what I'm
good.
assuming is it'll be locked. They'll get things set up, and then everyone joins back in. But as I'm saying this, half my friends list have already joined, so good luck, servers.
For those waiting to rejoin, there's just going to be a temporary lock on the lobby while we set it up, and then it'll be opened up to just keep in the lobby waiting for that refresh from Nightmare, and we'll let you know. We'll let you know.
Yeah, I was gonna. Where is fish?
Are we doing KOTH or are we doing the ticks? I can't tell.
Cannot tell. We're going to be surprised either way.
Roll a dice.
Exactly. And I guess the viewers will also be surprised as well. Bradstein, what went wrong? The lobby is not the best at handling mass influx of people. That's a pretty well-known issue. And because of some of the changes made, a lot of players were kicked into the queue, and so when they all jumped back in, the game had a bit of a conniption. What will happen is that the lobby is being brought back online. We're making sure that we get the correct servers, because there are some servers that play nicer than others. I think it is EU7 that is the golden child. Not sure whether we're going to have that, but we'll see. And then once we get in, we'll know exactly what is going on. Based on the fact that it's Raptor Crater, I'd say there's a decent chance that we're going to be running with a bit of King of the Hill, which I always look forward to each week.
We'll be putting in a couple of rules in chat as well for this one. Essentially, it's just no offensive structures on King of the Hill for Raptor Crater. So you don't want to be seeing Junos being shot into the middle of the map. We keep them on though because they can get used defensively, and they are quite OP when using them defensively.
Yeah, they're almost a necessity to deal with some of the spam. But the general rule of thumb is if you're a king, then feel free to Juno inside the inner circle. If you're a peasant, feel free to Juno outside of the inner circle. It just makes it so that it's possible. You got to bear in mind how limited space there is when you throw this many players into a game, so it's a tiny bit of honor rules that matter there. Since this is the 1 million download events, there's probably a fair few people that aren't overly familiar with King of the Hill, as well as a fair few people who are. So the general rule of thumb for King of the Hill is that in the middle of the map we put some strong players with a bonus. Around the outside we put everybody else, and we try to see who can win. There is a 10-minute no rush timer, some lava to keep everything nice and safe for that 10 minutes. And once 10 minutes breaks, all hell can break loose. We'll go into a lot more detail.
So he can start setting up the bonuses and everything.
You can, in fact, make any of the units that are available. There are some units which aren't available in the game, such as air. But yes, you are more than welcome to make a Vanguard and Shell from far out of the way. We've found that strikes a nice balance of being able to siege without being able to fortify, which tends to work out pretty well. But yes, when we jump on in, we'll go into a full explanation, a full breakdown for absolutely everyone, so that we can try to assist you best as we can to get this up and running.
All right, we're already up to over 100 players, so there are really only about 9 spots that kings can go, maybe 10 if you split the eco in the middle. As soon as you add too many kings, they have to share the resources, and they can't really jump up to those tier 2 and 3 phases of the game faster than the peasants. So maybe we'll put quite the bonus on team 2. And what do you reckon? 9 kings? I
mean, 9 kings is the way to go, unless we end up in the realms of well and truly over 120, 130 people on the peasants team, at which point you would definitely need some additional help. But the problem is coordinating that, because the reality is that it will turn each position into a co-op position as compared to everyone getting their own individual lane. There just won't be enough resources to scale, and scaling is what gives the kings their only hope. Well, and aggression. If you scale too hard, aggression is important.
Good.
That's the map tweaks that are in there now, isn't it?
G'day, enabling barley, and I don't think this one is ticks only, though if it is, that's going to be a very weird King of the Hill. Right, looks like... Okay, looks like we've got 8 kings. Decent skill range in there as well. We just need that one more. Oop, too many. I think Tank Tom, if you are a you are in fact a
and that is
a boss.
9.
So I'm going to leave the
What have you got?
bonuses up to you. Twig, Tank Tom, what do you think is a fair bonus for what is now 86 players on the peasant team?
Have we got the T2
Doesn't look like
eco
we do.
builders? Duffy's made the call at 75. I don't mind that. Let's just do the 75 throughout.
75 sounds good to me.
75.
It's
is
10%
close
more than we
enough.
were doing last week on King of the Hill, but Kings lost last week, so maybe 75's a little better. And there are a few names up there that we don't really see in the middle that often.
You are in fact right. Johnny dropped tablets. I do believe it would be around about 32,000 ticks at most. But you have to bear in mind that buildings are also counted into that unit cap.
Looks like we're having 10 kings instead of the usual 9. So the way this usually works is, I'm just getting a message.
Yeah, normally you go with 9 because you got 1 in each of the lanes and then 1 in the middle as well. Let me have a look and see if we've got any ID fixes. I do have to say, the ID had been much better at not overlapping recently. We have a couple, but that is much better than the many we used to have.
The unfortunate thing is, in most situations with those ID issues, you can just press balance and it will fix those ones right up for you. But when you try to force something like these asynchronous teams, you cannot do that. Otherwise, it'll just chuck half of the players in one team and half in the other. So a bit of a manual process.
Start, which makes sense, but once we get to this stage, there isn't too many options for adjusting it. It at least looks fine at the moment, but I've seen plenty of people bounce around, so that may or may not still be the case. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So it looks like we've got 10 in the middle, so I'm going to assume we've got the center boost being shared.
That would be my best guess, though I would definitely try to work towards a combined eco as compared to a separate one, because you're going to be quite limited on what you can do with if you only have 4 each.
Yeah, I expect that'll be a combined center rather than trying to do one each, because that's just going to get rather messy, I'm assuming.
I have no idea, Bar. It does look like extra unit packs are on, which means there's a very good chance those T2 build turrets are available.
I get the feeling this is going to be an APHIS start, or something to that effect.
With plus 75, it certainly should be. I will be back in 30 seconds.
With 10 kings in the middle instead of the usual 9, I think there's going to have to be 2 kings in the very middle that combine their ecos.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Just got a few more people that are joining in, downloading, getting ready, that sort of thing.
You doing the usual, or are you going to try and start in the middle? I know you've been practicing it a little bit.
I did it once and I did it horribly.
Yeah, once is a little bit. You are
I think
better
I
at
got my first T3 units out at like 13 minutes.
Yeah, if you're in the middle, I love the tactic of just, if you're that middle eco and you get all 8 mexes, you can get 1 or 2 demons or razorbacks out at the 10-minute if you eco perfectly.
I did.
And perfectly for us definitely isn't fantastic, but our perfect gets 1
So
or 2
we
out.
expect at least 10 out of Duffy is what we're saying.
Yeah, that's it.
20, man.
20?
20.
Hey, Duffy.
I got moved against my will.
Yeah, well, you're here
Yeah.
so that if you fuck up, we can all excuse the language. If you stuff up, we can ask you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, you stuff lag. FPS.
How
I
many
blame
You're gonna-
FPS.
You're going in the middle or you're going your usual side lane, do you reckon?
Side probably.
The unit cap is going to be the really rough one for this, I reckon. Because with this many players, we're going to have sub 300 units, I reckon it is.
Yeah, this is 100, what's this, over 110 players. I think the record we've got for King of the Hill is around 115, a bit more than 115. Either way, I'd like to see some really nice co-op out of 2 kings in the middle. That's the advantage you guys have at the moment. Get those T3s out by the 10-minute mark and push one side, work your way around.
We have worked out that, what was it, 2 demons can hold a ramp against pretty much any manner of spam.
We also discovered that pounders are ludicrously good at holding ramps.
Yeah, a few walls and a couple of pounders do a lot of work when you can get that choke point.
And
Yeah, against
Chronographer
T1
also
anyway.
used the decoy comms to mass degun and create channels. That also directs units very well, which is an interesting strategy.
Yeah, because those fake D guns still do damage. They do kill T1s, and you put them on repeat attack. Not a bad idea. I like it. Thinking outside the
Great way.
box. We got one away. Only an hour after our stream was meant to start. Sorry, everyone. Obviously, Lobby Sims takes a while. We did jump on earlier, but missed the start of the last game. And with the amount of players in these games, it's almost impossible to catch back
So
up.
much catch up.
Yes, we got to about 8 minutes away from the from catching up, and then just stayed there for a while.
Oh yeah, it was not going very far, very fast.
Now, for those of you that are tuning in, if you're wondering how sharing can work in a match this big where you can't really even click on the players down the bottom, for unit sharing, if you select a unit, there'll be a button in the bottom left in your commands window, and you can click share and then click on the commander of the person you want to give it to. So if you're working in some of the co-op corners, that is how you can move some of your units around. Resources are a little bit harder, but there is a command to drop down a window where you can send resources rather than having to rely on the buttons in the right hand side on your right hand side. I'm really hoping someone in chat says what the command is, because we have to use it once every blue moon, and so I just do not remember.
Yes. Where are we all going? I'm gonna come over here, I think.
Looks like we got one king in the middle. Couple yet to price.
I can see stuff, but I can't place yet, so we'll... imagine it's just everyone getting in. Yep, there's my message from a while ago. This feels like it could be fun.
Sometimes these games will lag at the start, but then once the game actually kicks off, actually almost every time, it's good for a good 20 minutes until you get that T3 and spam everywhere.
Yeah, you end up, rather than microing units, you go, you guys, that direction-ish. Have fun.
For those people tuning in, King of the Hill, make sure you spawn on the outside if you're a peasant, and in the inside if you're a king.
That's you, Pumpkin. Pumpkin, you gotta make your way outside, I do believe. Same with you, Solemn Tempest. You gotta move yourself outside of the outside of the middle. Just to bear in mind, there are moderators here. If you do try to spawn in the middle, you'll end up losing your comm, which is a nice metal donation and a big advantage for the Kings. That
We will
extra
happily
1,000
take
metal
donations.
shaves 30 odd seconds off of a fusion. And considering that this is a game about exponential scaling, 30 seconds off of the fusion is a huge amount.
I reckon I recognize lots of the names in here.
A surprising amount, yeah.
I'm hoping that with the bonus, the guys in the middle can get up and running, ready to help out as required. Because I'm expecting we're going to see a bit.
Well, there's been a bit of a shift in the meta recently, and it's going to require the Kings to be quite strong defensively. So they've all
That's
seen
the
it.
bit that concerns me.
They've all seen
What's
it, and we'll
good,
see how
though,
it goes.
There's a lot of players in here that haven't played King of the Hill, so I don't reckon you're going to get as perfect build up of units that we saw last week, where there was 855-ish units at the 10-minute mark out of the peasants.
Oh yeah, those were terrifying.
Was quite the strong.
I'm just copying and pasting this same message into chat, hoping this last player will move out of the middle. Otherwise, they're unfortunately going to get kicked.
You would think, considering that your entire team is outside the lava, that you might pick up the.
I'm assuming that you guys have had the ding 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 going on as well.
Everyone. Liz in the middle.
G'day and welcome everybody to King of the Hill. This is a special one that's happening during the 1 million downloads event. Was voted for by the community, so it is happening. We've got a very huge game today. We've got 10 commanders in the middle, one more than the usual, but 107 around the outside. This is going to be an absolute menace for everyone involved. The unit cap is going to be massively divided between all these players, and chaos should ensue. Now, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, which considering it is the 1 million download events, there may be a fair few of you, this is what's going on. We do have a nice lava trench that's been provided by a chronographer that will disappear at the 10-minute mark, which is the end of the no rush timer. That gives you 16 lanes to attack into the middle, or 16 lanes for the Kings to attack out of the middle. There's a couple of handicaps that have been put on, so the Kings, considering there are so few of them, they have a plus 75% bonus. Considering this is a game of exponential scaling, that should be a huge bonus for them in the middle with that eco. Just bear in mind they'll get 75% more power from each wind turbine, and then 75% more metal from each of those converters, which is going to be a nice big jump for them. Around the outside though, all hope is not lost. There are so many peasants that we've been able to throw many players into each of these four corners. If they work together to share T2 labs and distribute T2, we're going to have a lot of resources available.
You can already see some T2 labs coming up in the corner. I'll just explain that while you change your scene, Prey. So yeah, you get all these mexes to one player in one of these corners. You'll actually get your T2 up well quicker than the Kings will in the middle of the map. The Kings only see their resource bonus as they get to that T2 phase.
Exactly. The other things that you do bear in mind, we have air switched off, which means that we do not have to worry about putting the resources into that, and we do ask that structures are not used offensively. So that means if you've got a Juno and you're a king, feel free to Juno inside of the circle. If you've got a Juno as a peasant, feel free to Juno outside of it. Similarly, if you're building long-range defenses, make sure that they're not in range to target anyone's units. There is limited space and limited options here, so building those defenses can make things very difficult for both teams. Jumping into what we want to see out of these different positions. If you are in front of one of the ramps, I highly recommend either unit defenses or building defenses. These are going to be necessary to hold up the Kings as they try to push out. Really important point to note is that there are 107 comms to start with on the peasant team. Stack the top of these ramps with comms if you want to keep them safe. Those D-guns are one of your best weapons. Even though the Kings can get something like a Juggernaut out nice and early, a D-Gun takes 29,000 metal off of the map. If you're in the middle, you definitely want to be seeing a very strong economy, somewhere in the realms of at least a fusion, but with this 75% bonus, you would hope for at least 2 fusions, maybe an Aphis. That's going to be what your minimum requirements are in order to make it as a king. The other thing is to try and have each ramp at least somewhat defended. Remember not to build those defenses too early on in the match, because any resources that you spend in the first 7 or so minutes could have been utilized to boost your eco just that little bit further, and could have gotten you just that little bit more of an edge, but you have to balance that build power as well. Joining me, Twig and Tank Tom. Tank Tom, are you in this match or are you casting with us?
Yes, I am. I
Very
am
good.
quietly trying to get my stuff up and running.
Very
Dressed
nice.
up pretty in pink on the top left above Duffy, who is well into T2. You're into T2 as well. What is hurting me a little bit is we've got 2 kings in the middle compared to our usual one in King of the Hills, and they're not co-oping together. They're doing their own thing, and Nevo and Quarterton could have gone into a T2 lab together and punched out these T2 constructors a lot faster if they just combined that eco. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
It's
That
not the
might
end
be
of
a
the world.
deficit.
It's not the end of the world though, because when you do reclaim these labs, you will gain 75% more than what you spent on them. So,
Think
so
they'll
that
get to T3 though in 10 minutes.
that is
5
true. We'll
minutes
slow them down, but it isn't the end of the world. It's just a bit of a disadvantage. Still, there are plenty of strong kings here. We do know that the Grump clan is very, very strong. We've seen phenomenal plays out of Shadow in the Sky. Tank Tom has some real consistency in this one. Cookie Duffy is just a force to be reckoned with. So we should see some very good plays out of this match. And out of the peasants too, there are some plenty experienced. There are some plenty experienced peasants as well. I am seeing Emir, Classic, and a few others that we do see in the a few of the regulars as well. Just zooming in on it, Taxman over there jumps on in with us most weeks. So we do have plenty of power in the peasant side of things as well, and with those numbers and with those comms, this is going to be a really hard fought one for the Kings.
What you're going to see in this map, which by the way is a modification of course of Raptor Crater. Usually this is a crater, it's been turned into a hill using some commands from Chronographer, one of the players that might be in here with us in the game, not sure, but Chronographer has modified this so it also has lava that disappears at the 10-minute mark, creating that 10-minute no rush timer through the geography. We've got one of the rule breaks, we've got a gauntlet on the hill that can reach those mexes. This is one where we've decided not to tweak the units. Usually for all the regulars, they know not to build these up here, but it's just too easy to kill the kings if static defenses can be used offensively.
And that has been removed, so slight bit of a slowdown for Cookie, but that unit has been pulled off of the map. Does look like we've also got someone getting ready with some shell shockers on the top left of the map. Thankfully, with that shorter range, they're sitting outside of the defenses. They could be a slight problem as things come up over the next 3.5 minutes, but we will see. One of the things that I'm seeing around the map, and this is going to be a problem for quite a few of the players, a lot of players are trying to get T2 labs. If you look at the top left-hand corner, the middlemost bastion, we've got a T2 lab that is a long way away from finishing. T1 lab still there, and hasn't been reclaimed. And this is the sort of area where you need to work together as a team to push those T2 cons out for all of the players. Only get one lab for each player. Everyone can reclaim their T1s to put into it. You will get the money back if you do it early enough. I do believe we've got the first hints of some fusions going down. In the bottom left-hand side, it looks like Classic just about to get their fusion up and running at 15% to go. And I do believe one was just placed down in the top right-hand side. That one's also about 10% off. So really good play out of a couple of these corners, getting that eco up nicely. But looking in the middle, we already have quite a lot of eco running for these players in the middle. Pourmont's going into a couple of those advanced wind turbines. These things produce 10 times the amount of energy that a regular turbine does. So 145 energy coming out of one of those now, and that is steaming him forward over to that fusion. Would definitely eat that T2 lab to get enough for it, though you would need to put down a metal storage to have that one up and running.
I think, Tom, you've gone into some of these quad guards. We haven't seen these used in King of the Hill before, but they should do quite
Nope.
nicely at taking out any
I
T1
have
strength.
just seen that they existed.
The interesting
So
thing is,
I'm going to make the most of them.
a quad guard is 300 metal, and if you compare that to a twin guard, which is 195, you get a lot more defense for the cost of your defense.
Oh yeah.
So I do quite like those ones, though I wish we saw something like a double beamer or a quad-barreled beamer. That would be phenomenal.
That'd be nice.
Does look like we've got someone shelling down from the top left. Bulbous, just got to make sure you wait till that 10-minute mark before attacking. Just because you can get units up there doesn't mean that you should get units up there just yet. This is one of the small problems with running these during some of the events. But it does get taken care of quite quickly, and we'll be back underway in just a moment. And the nice thing is, after the 10-minute mark, there is no real way of breaking the rules, because the rules open up nicely, and it is all about attacking each other. So hopefully we'll see a nice, good, even game starting there.
Probably the only thing that we do see is Junos getting used. We asked for Junos to only be used defensively. Obviously, only the people listening in are going to abide by that. I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2 rule breaks, but the mods will just go and delete those Junos probably if they're found to be shooting in the wrong spot.
Looking at Mazza putting down some defenses right now, one of the critical things to bear in mind with the defenses that you put down here, the pop-up turrets are good against T2 units, but based on what we've seen typically, and also what the resources that you're going to be seeing coming out of the peasants, the defenses that are best against T1, at least at the early stage, are significantly more important. So these beamers are probably going to get more done than the pop-ups. I do like to see a shield generator though, and some pulsars. This build queue will just take a while to put down, and we'll end up going through. I don't love the
30 seconds left.
Pardon?
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
Not
Wow.
that many units out
We're
of the
getting caught
peasants.
up.
Yeah, it's there are 400. Some are coming online. Nowhere near as many units as last week. We do have some fiends down here. I'm not going to say where, so that those listening in won't know. That's going to be interesting to see.
Yes.
And not a lot of units out of the Kings either. Everyone just coming online, but we do have T3 out of Duffy at 10 minutes. That is.
Yeah,
These
right.
assimilators are disgusting, just by the way. They used to be even more disgusting, but now they are not. And that is 10 minutes. The lava has dropped. The units are coming in, and it does look like we have 6 ramps that are going to be attacked rather heavily. The one I want to see, though, is these fiends. Can they break through? With a couple of these quad guards, a few of them will go down, but there is plenty of firepower to punch in here. And that second wave, I reckon, is going to be enough to break through. Thankfully, though, some units coming out from the king, and this is mostly going to be cleaned up. Looking around the map, though, it is the right-hand side that's in the most trouble. Shadow in the Sky is dealing with the T2 defenses, T1 problems situation, where these Scorpions are getting a kill with every shot, but they are not firing it fast enough, so those ticks really did get in, and a lot of this defenses have broken. The Fringe is feeling the pain as well, but unfortunately some indecisiveness out of the peasants has allowed this attack to mostly be cleaned up. One of the things you have to do if you do manage to break through in any meaningful way is push, and push some more, because it's going to be taking out the economies and forcing the Kings on the defensive that is going to make the most difference. Looking on the left-hand side, the assimilators are jumping into the fight, with 5 of them starting to march their way up the ramp, and there is not a lot to defend this. As I did say before the game popped on, it is going to be the comms that are the first and strongest line of defense early on. They really need to be in position to deal with units like this. Spam is the way that you deal with those invisible comms, but there is not a lot of that around, so there's a great opportunity to pick up all of these assimilators that are bunched up nicely. Hopefully we see a bit of that. There is a comm, I think, moving to try to get in position, but it's going to be quite far away, and these assimilators are starting to spread out.
Ooh,
That'd be nasty. I
defenses
don't think we've
gonna
seen
get-
T3 at the 10-minute mark in this manner before.
We definitely
Oh,
have
whoa,
seen it in
comm.
the form of Razorbacks or demons, But the problem is, the difference then was that comms were sitting at the top of the ramp ready to take them out, and that isn't happening this time.
Not a good reaction. This is what I hate to see in King of the Hill, is when you don't help out your neighbour. Protect thy neighbour. So many players on the north and south of this player here could be coming to the rescue, not going into units and still building some economy. Some are reacting, not everyone, but everyone needs to react to clean this up. This is T3 against a lot of T1.
That is right, and the T3 is going to keep rolling. The critical thing is to hold them in the ramps. Once they start moving out from the ramps and spreading out, it can be very hard. Also, making sure that your comms are invisible before you send them in. If you send them in without cloaking them, you're going to be in big trouble. Does look like we do have a potential savior making its way through, but these ticks are now here, so you have to make sure you stay away from the ticks if they get into the... Oh, too early on that D-gun. You have to try and get into a position where you're going to catch quite a few of them before you pop that D-gun. Looking around the map again, it does look like there has been a good amount of stabilization in the top right-hand side. Lots of energy and resources going into defenses and walls. Do bear in mind, walls also cost population cap, and with 100 players in the game, the Kings have something around 300 total units.
I like what you're doing, Tank Tom. Instead of trying to push your lane, you're sending all your forces through.
We have an opening, I'm going to use it.
It is the most efficient thing to do. We see quite often in King of the Hill, everyone just wants to win their lane. But if you've got a free lane to run up, go up that lane, because you're not going to lose any units to nothing.
Yep.
Looking
and I
at
figure
the...
seeing as we're already in, you might as well push the advantage as hard as you possibly can.
Looking at the other side of the map, a couple of sprinters have managed to run the line and get themselves into one of the eco corners. There were some turrets here to reclaim them, but it does look like ticks are going to clean them up after they clear out a whole series of those energy converters. Good defense there, but there is going to be a big problem with this left side falling early. If any of these corners fall before 20 minutes, the peasants are in trouble, because it means the Kings can expand outwards, take some space. They also have a nice launching platform to move on to the rest of the armies. On top of that, it also takes off defensive pressure, which means that those Kings that have freed up their own lanes can start attacking other lanes. Big spider push coming in the top right-hand side as we have recluses on the high ground. They are currently skirmishing with a comm. Thankfully, that comm did have some energy problems and wasn't quite able to get close enough for some good D-guns. So once these spiders start getting up here en masse, they should be able to push in decently. Hopefully we see a good unit response. Centurions out of Hot Potato making their way in for the defense, catching a good number of them right now. Centurions are reasonably tanky, so they can take some of this fire. Unfortunately, though, the catapult that was backing them up walked that little bit too far forward. Is going to survive, though, to clean these ones up. I do love the use of the spiders, particularly in a situation like this where players aren't used to defending on these cliffs, but it does look like the players have come together to hold this top right-hand side and allow the eco train to roll. The aggression is slowing down now out of the Kings. Only a handful of assimilators still up on the left-hand side, but a lot of damage has been done, so we're going to need some good recovery out of the peasant side to keep this one rolling.
I do love that we got a T3 already out of the top right-hand corner to help defense against those spiders out of Jalaya. And you might think the Kings are looking quite in a healthy position with lanes breaking down the bottom left, but you'd be wrong. Historically, unless you break out of multiple entrances at the start of the game, the peasants really do catch up on that eco. So although the Kings have a bonus, they have limited space. They lose a lot of their eco to APM out of all things. They need to be focusing on all their lanes and defenses. And these corners you can see already 5 aphis down the bottom right. And plenty of eco in all the others. They will catch up and overwhelm the Kings eventually if the Kings don't take advantage of their early breaks.
Not to mention, there is a population cap, and the Kings will hit it very clearly, so the more the Kings get overextended, the harder it becomes, because if their units are there for the offense, they're not there for the defense.
As you say that, I was trying to work out why nothing was building. I was at population cap.
Really nice play. We had no counter intrusion out of the middle of the map, and some tanks got in and did a bit of conversion damage and build power damage to Cereba on the right hand side there.
Thankfully, enough eco has been built to try and to offset that somewhat. Good pressure coming from the Kings, though. There is not a lot of space for the rest of the players to come and help this falling side that has been run by Duffy. By ensuring that this side is shut down, by ensuring all the other lanes are pressured, this side is effectively shut down for the time being. But if you look into where the pressure is, it is only this bottom left-hand corner that is taking a lot of damage. Everywhere else is doing quite well. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Assimilators into the top half of the map.
So with 2 entrances breach, that really does maybe mean the Kings have a decent chance here. They can work their way around. As soon as you stop the scaling of eco in 1 or 2 of these corners, the Kings have that opportunity to keep pushing and work their way around the map. There are still 67 commanders though out of the peasants. You guys team together and get those in the right spot, you can clear up those T3 quite efficiently with those D guns.
This is, I think, one of the risks of putting the extra unit pack on. The assimilator is effectively a Razorback with range, and unfortunately it does make holding these chokes a lot harder than it has been in the past. So those, so even though there has been a few comms trying to deal with them, just that little bit of lack of positioning or knowledge on the stealthing command has meant that a lot of these have managed to break through and deal a lot of damage.
I don't actually see much coming to save the day in this top left because it's probably the least ecoed corner. Only 2 fusions are up in that corner and there's no units coming out of the back lane, meaning these assimilators really only have to watch out for those comms.
If you compare that to the bottom right-hand corner, we do see 6 APHIS already up, as well as several fusions and a lot of wind. In the top right-hand side, 3 APHIS. I think the record we've seen by 20 minutes was 28 APHIS in one of these corners.
Yeah, it's insane when you get co-op working properly. This bottom right is probably the chance for the peasants to win, so even though it's looking really healthy now in 3 different areas for the Kings, all it takes is 1 lane to fall. As soon as 1 lane falls, there is nothing really stopping eco from chain reacting, units getting through and attacking all the other ecos from the rear.
And with 6 Vanguards, there's a lot of opportunity to punch a lot of damage from range. The thing is, you just have to make sure you have the right units backing them up, and that does look like what's happening with those assimilators coming in. If those assimilators can keep a screen in front of the Vanguards and spam can keep vision running, then there should be a great opportunity to punch in. Because one thing to bear in mind, with the peasants, it doesn't matter how deep you push into one corner, what you're doing is not affecting any peasant that you're not directly attacking. As the peasants, if you manage to break into the middle, you are in a position to grab everybody's eco, which is the problem that you have to try to avoid. The peasants only have to win in one area, the Kings have to win in all of them.
This is the point right now where these middle players, Quarter Neon and we got Nivogue, need to come online and help out this lane here. Cereba's under a lot of pressure from these assimilators, backed up by those Vanguards. There's a bit of spam as well, probably not as much as I'd like to see, but these are getting dangerously close to pushing this eco, and there isn't much eco from this player with 1 fusion online.
Unfortunately, what they're doing is they're focusing on fighting the defenses as compared to focusing on breaking in. It's all well and good to be taking out units, but the reality is if you're not doing damage, if you're not pushing your units in to deal damage to the eco, then you're going to find yourself in trouble if any of these other players come online.
Massive hit in the corner of the screen, assimilators in, and there's still a couple alive. We might see a massive chain reaction shortly. Is this going to go the central eco? Yes. Conversion down, build power down. Luckily with those T2 advanced construction turrets, they don't chain react like the T1s do. But still no reaction. We might see some more conversion go down. Nice done out of Just a Penguin. These have got a lot of damage. And we've just found another conversion field, and I think this might be coming online, but there should be enough to reclaim this.
If these assimilators can push right on in, not deal with the units that are chasing them, they could get some of these APHIS fields in the middle and really swing things back towards the peasants' favor. Unfortunately, they have to go for the large targets. They can't be chasing after these fusion reactors. Fusions are tempting, APHIS are explosions. But this is a nice open lane now, and it does mean that all offensive attempts out of Duffy have moved into defensive ones, which does slow down the bleeding. We still have half of the peasants up online, and we still have the corner that is the strongest that is trying to fight its way in. Also, the left-hand side, whilst it has taken a lot of damage, it is running with 3 Aphis, which means that there is still plenty of pushing power available here, so long as they can survive the next few minutes.
Epic Kargi's coming out of Portmont to try and clean up the rest of this corner that had partially fallen, but not fully fallen. Be interesting to see how these go, considering there's no spam to help them out. So,
and that's where comp control is going to come into this one. Each one of these units is ludicrously expensive, ludicrously slow, and unbacked up. All it's going to take is a single comp to take both those out if it is well controlled. Looking at the top left-hand side, though, the Assimilator and Demon Push is well and truly rolling through. Unfortunately, nothing in this top left corner was here and available to take it on. Couple of comments just saying that the 75 bonus might have been a little bit overkill. Unfortunately, it is incredibly hard to balance out the eco, because if you compare the bottom right hand corner that's going for a super Aphis to the top left that struggled to get its Aphis online full stop, it is a numbers game and a game of which players are in what spot. So we do our best for that one.
yeah, it's always hard to tell. And honestly, we've seen comebacks even at this stage of the game. If you get those Aphis reacting, exploding, it will be death to the Kings, but it is looking very healthy for them right now. So I'd be surprised if that happens. There weren't enough units at the start. I think if a lot of those players that went up to T2 stayed at T1 and just built the units, they really would have got a long way.
I also think that if there was a couple of energy storages so that commanders could be cloaked in relevant positions, I think the start of the game could have looked very, very different.
And just to say as well, we have tested out 75, we have tested out 80, and we've had Kings lose on all of those. So it really does come down to the players.
I definitely do think that Uzi does have a valid point. The Assimilator is a ludicrously strong unit for its cost.
Oh yeah.
And that's why we're seeing so much of it as well. Almost all teams are going for are trying to go for mass Assimilators.
Problem is going into the demons. I do like demons in the King of the Hill because they are better at cleaning up commanders that get in their path. Being one of the best defensive units, the commanders really are the threat of taking out T3, and you can just attack ground. Hitting that S key or Y key if you're on the legacy keys to attack ground ahead of where they're walking will take out the commanders if you know roughly where they are.
Thing is, if you've got enough of them, as soon as a commander appears, it has to be visible for a little bit. If you've got enough of them, they'll go pop.
And that's where having those 107 commanders is really useful. You just have to trade efficiently. If one commander is going down and taking 20,000 metal with it, the Kings are going to have a really hard time building up forces. Like this Barbie commander right here, up to 6 kills on these Assimilators. That is a 100% worthwhile trade right there.
Now the bottom lane's getting raided. Amir with all his Assimilators went in just defensively. This is where I think you're right again. It's a losing battle. If he just took them straight in where the ticks were going and like kind of went along that lane up through there, I mean, he probably can't see it. I'll just select player view. Can we see where the eco? You can see the eco there. So yeah, that's the path could have taken with that amount of Assimilators. All it takes is one to get in there and pop one Aphis, and that's an entire lane that's fallen. You really want to just go for those ecos rather than the units.
Very much so. And one of the biggest things about the Kings versus Peasants matchup, the Kings really do live and die based on one lane. If a single lane falls hard, it can completely destroy the Kings. So the Peasants do have many opportunities to take out the Kings, but in this situation the Kings have just played very well, used the units they have available to them, and balanced the right amount of eco versus units.
Hey, it's good seeing Kings win. They lose most of them.
Yeah, it's been getting harder and harder to win these.
Yeah, it comes down to just if Peasants build units, they win. They win early. We had a 15-minute game. That means, considering there's a 10-minute no rush, there was only 5 minutes of gameplay last week, and that was just getting out those T1 units and attacking every lane at once. Or actually, no, it was all focused on one area, or most of it anyway. but putting the pressure on every lane. So many commanders not masked, not cloaked, and just going down as soon as these assimilators see them with that massive range of, what is it, 766.
That is 100% the truth. If you do not have your commanders cloaked, you're going to be in big trouble. You just cannot possibly hope to hold these entrances without a tiny bit of commander micro.
We got Titans now coming out of Mazda down south. There's no more Kings down there as well to defend. The last one just going down. One's coming in range. Managed to degun one, but the next 6 or so are just there to clean everything up along with those snipers. Instant shooting anything that shows its face. In a normal PvP game, I can see where these assimilators, they don't do heaps of damage. They won't be as good, but King of the Hill, they just too OP. And
They're a unit
here?
They're a unit that scales harder with numbers. One assimilator is not a big deal, but 10 assimilators is significantly more of a big deal than 10 individual assimilators. That massed fire, the long range, very, very strong here. The peasants did manage to get one of the epic fusion reactors up in the top right. Unfortunately, though, the resources that went into that have not gone into units, and so we're in a position with all of these assimilators coming up to try and fight it. They have seen the epic fusion, and this isn't normal Raptor Crater. The fusion is not on the high ground, it is on the low ground. That is all she wrote for the entirety of this corner from that one explosion. I do love the attempt of getting one up. Unfortunately, just too much pressure applied.
Keep going, Tom, in the bottom left.
Yeah, we're getting there.
The demon's still pushing, but now we've got a bulwark up, a couple commanders there. Epic Kargis coming over the edge. I like it, but they're all bunched up. You want to spread them out like you were doing with the demons, keeping them well apart. I say that as you just get 3 degunned in a row. What are you doing, Tom?
I took out the commander. They did their job.
One of them could have
Blues.
done that, and then Blues.
Oh my
just taking
god.
out multiple epic Kargis. You need to split those up, Portmont.
And this is what we're talking about using those comms correctly. This comm, even though it's only got 3 kills, this comm has gotten... How much are those epic Kargis? Those epic Kargis are 12,000, so 36,000 metals worth of damage out of a single comm. And that's where the more experienced players who tend to be in the back line need to be on the front line to try and hold some of these positions and prevent the mass intrusion. If the Kings had been able to hold even for a couple of minutes at the ramp that fell initially, I think we would have seen quite a different game.
This looks like game over for the bottom left. The last comm just going down. We've got Jugs, Kargis, Demons, Titans, all the juicy stuff marching into those last aphises. I reckon we're going to be onto the tick game pretty shortly. That's coming up next.
I think that might be, in fact, what is coming up next. But we will see. We're always a little bit in the dark on these events, just here as a voice in your ear, and we've got Nightmare to take care of a lot of that other side of things. The bottom left side finally falling. It was the first one to be assaulted, and it has done absolutely amazingly well to stay alive and to keep some of these players occupied, but unfortunately has finally made its way down, and now we have the large scale push trying to move its way up into this into the top right hand corner. Plenty of defenses here, but the eco just isn't there to try and stop this push. There is 2,000 metal income left on the map for the peasants, and it's going to go down nice and quickly with all of Tank Tom's demons just roasting their way through. I take it that you decided that it was time to end this one, Tank Tom?
No, it was that I realized that I had a whole bunch sitting in my base and went, well, off we go.
There you go, heard it from his mouth first. He's been building up for this one strategy, and it is now time to execute with his unstoppable doom fire. 100% intentional and absolutely not coincidental.
The ants go marching 36 by 36, hurrah. A lot of demons. I've actually been singing that song a lot to my daughter lately. Gets her to sleep.
Sure thing, Nightmare, if you want to go those big booms. Let's see those big booms. The peasants have done a great job of holding out, but with the full might of the kings bearing down upon them, this game is not for much longer.
Yeah, if you want to see the world's fastest volcano formed, you might see it shortly. Oh, there we go, just
There
off
we
my
go.
screen.
And I do believe that they'll start falling down on a couple of the other commanders as time goes on.
We've been asked in chat what was that. That is getting on to the next game quicker, because this is the inevitable.
Yes, once the game is over, particularly at these events, it is worthwhile just moving forward on to the next one.
That's huge.
I think if I was a peasant in the top right, I'd just be doing Control D. Take control of my own destiny.
Look, I don't think I could do that because I'd want the nuke to fall on me.
At this point, it's the matter of like 30 seconds or so.
There we go. We do have a rolling bomb right next to 444. So that thing, if that detonates, it should do its job nicely and create another crater. Run!
It's just sitting there. It's slowly being eaten. 444, I dare you to D-gun it.
Do it! D-gun the rolling bomb. Tank Tom, you've got demons coming up there. Attack the rolling bomb.
Yeah, I'm basically looking to see where it comes up.
No, not free metal.
Idiot.
Not free metal. Attack it, Tom. It nearly. Just keep going. No. No.
Oh, it's okay. There's another few.
There's another. There's many. There's many. Get him, Tom. Get him, Tom. Attack the. Yes. Yes.
Just the rolling bomb. Don't worry about anything else.
I didn't even see the rolling bomb in the end there.
Oh,
there it
there
is.
we go.
I think we got it.
All right. Nice work, everyone. Good job by the Kings. The assimilator play was definitely the way to go. Hopefully, in the next one, we will see some more. We will see some more D-guns in the early stages of the game. Yes, extra units are most certainly quite broken for the Kings, but we also know that if there are over 100 peasants, without any sort of additionals like that for the Kings, it becomes impossible because their unit cap is so low that they end up running out of units just for build towers.
Yeah, this one was a little bit unbalanced, but it's a special event tonight for 1 million downloads, so it's all just for good fun. If you win, you lose, as long as you have a laugh.
Yeah, these huge games get notoriously difficult to balance because depending on which strategy the teams use, like if the peasants go mass units, kings are basically dead. If they don't put any pressure on, and the kings can continue to scale, they'll probably do something similar to that.
Which is to say, essentially, as we state very often, aggression is the winner in this game. The Kings put on the most aggression at the start of the game, and even though the peasants put on a decent amount on the right-hand side, there was only really 4 lanes that felt a lot of the pressure at that 10-minute mark, and that is going to be a big problem. If you don't have at least 6 and preferably even more lanes pressuring, then the Kings do get to run away with it sometimes.
Are we going to do the same one again? Or are we looking at swapping over to the ticks this time around?
I think we will be surprised one way or the other.
Oh, there's a poll going on. So what is happening in the poll? We've got all of the above, crazy small, ticks as normal. Get on that poll, people.
So far, only 32 votes. There we go. Now we're jumping up nicely. Grab what you can. The vote is over on the official Twitch. See what we can get done. We'll probably keep commentating this one for another hour or so, so should be enough time for 2 or so games, provided we don't play too much lobby sim. Speaking of which, some shameless advertising by putting our logo up in the lobby sim, during the lobby sim. Gotta do what you gotta do.
For anyone wondering that is tuned in, we are All Reason No Logic, Praetor, Tank Tom, and Twig.
We're the ones that host these King of the Hills each week, or this time every week. If you're interested in jumping into more of these,
They tend to run slightly differently with when it's mostly players that know what's going on, as well as more reasonable numbers of players. The larger the number of players are, the harder the balance gets. And it does look like it's been split up into two teams of 59, so we should be seeing something different. This time round, we'll see exactly what they throw for the 1 million event. Me, personally, I'm hoping for 1 million ticks, but it does look like all of the above is the winning vote, with 87 to the next highest of ticks, which is currently at 11. There you go, 87 votes for all of the above. So that means I think we're getting small map, crazy theme, as normal as possible, and ticks. So however Nightmare wants to make that one run, I'll leave that up to him.
I think we ignore the as normal as possible and
What do you
run
mean?
the rest of it.
It's all of the above. We must have as normal as possible and crazy all in one go. I'm thinking a nice unit tweak that turns the tick into a land-based flagship with a range of only like with very small range, with only the tick's range. Not gonna happen, by the way.
They
Sorry.
would
I
kill
remember
themselves doing that.
I remember playing one game where they reduced the range to like 1, so it was essentially like a melee battle beyond all reason. Just a sword fight.
I do love that one, and we will jump back into that in just a moment. But we have had Bluesy with the best suggestion of the night so far for the 1 million downloads. He wants to see 1 million beers. Very Australian of him. Do love that. But back to the melee units. Yes, some of the things you can do if you learn some of the code around the game is that you can write tweaks for the game, and so we have seen a very interesting one which made units melee spec. When units are melee spec, the pounder is king, I believe we found out.
That would
Looks like
make
Nightmare likes the melee idea, so we might actually get that sooner than we think.
Where did you see that one?
In the in-game chat.
Nice. I didn't even see that one. There we go. Yep, I do see that. Though I think he might have been talking about the 1 million beers.
There's a lot of chats going on, trying to keep track of the in-game, the Twitch, the YouTubes.
Any of the private messages sent to us by the mods telling us that we're doing our jobs wrong.
I need yours set up. Prey's got like one massive monitor and then about 3,000 around it, so that he can read all of this stuff at once. I just got 2.
So to run this into some intricacies around this. So my main graphics card is a 4080 Super, but I also have an Intel Arc A770. I have a really weird issue with the A770 where if I have 4 monitors plugged into the 4080, I can only have 1 plugged into the A770, which is quite strange. But that does in fact mean that I'm running way too many monitors, but that is mostly for work. I just get the bonus of that for video games and doing streaming and things like that.
You're the only person I know of that had to buy more graphics cards because you ran out of display ports.
Yeah, that was
plug in more monitors.
That was a legitimate issue. I needed a color accurate monitor for graphic design work, and rather than replace one of the ones that I have, I just added, and that caused a lot of problems.
Cool, it's all water cooled.
It is. I spent a lot of time building my PC. I'm very happy with it. So I've got a 5 a Z590 with the Gigabyte Water Force edition, and then I've water cooled the 4080 as well as just about everything else in there. I have two 420 60mm thick rads keeping the PC cool, which is why my older 11th gen hardware can run this game no problem, because I've got a nice solid overclock on it. I kill you for fun. That's a great idea. We need a newt newt sound in the game for every single time that the pawns hit, and we could use the penguin models. I would love to see that.
Oh,
I don't think we
God.
can set that up with no warning, but I am going to hound Nightmare for the rest of time until we see that.
That would be an atrocious noise. But every time the tick fires, when you
Look,
have so many ticks.
if you think about it, every time the pawn fires, or maybe not every time, because talking to these sound guys back during the 50k event, getting the balance on how all of that sound works, they could actually probably make it pretty good. This is definitely the live chat in the lobby sim. We're doing our best to fill time while the moderators do their magic and make all of this happen. It does look like we're up to 143 people in the lobby, which is if you've played the game before, you know that it is max 8 versus 8 under normal conditions. So we're definitely outside the realms.
How many players did we get up to into the 50k event, Prey, when we were casting those ones? What were the biggest ones?
That is a seriously good question that we're going to have to leave for somebody else, because after 12 hours straight of casting, my memory is rather foggy.
Yeah, you did a big effort that day. 60k event might be coming up shortly. I don't think it's going to be quite as big. I wouldn't be surprised if Bar holds those events at the bigger milestones, maybe 75, maybe 100. We'll see what they say in the future. But I look forward to them either way.
So, Von asked in the chat how you determine what your bottleneck is for your PC, and the answer to that one can be a little bit on the tricky side, because it can come down to other players, not necessarily you, because the game tries to keep everything synced for everyone. So unless you're essentially in a lobby with people running similar specs, you can find it hard to balance it out. But the reality is that if you can run some of these, if you can run the game during some of these events without lagging out, then you've got plenty of power. And if you do start lagging out, that's the time to check your resource monitors to see what's holding you up. Though based on your specs, the 5800 X3D should be a monster for this game. 36 gigs of RAM should not be a problem, and your 9700 XT should also not be a problem, because the game is quite CPU bound, or a decent amount CPU bound, so should be good to go with those specs.
Yeah, it's always a single core CPU that gets chugging first, or at least when you do start to feel it chug and you happen to look, that's always the one that's struggling the most.
So, as everyone is loading into this match, it does look like the final settings for this one. We have max velocity 5, which means that units will be slow. Force land all units. I'm not entirely sure what that one does, but I'm fairly sure that it reads as it does. It's going to force all units onto land. Metal extraction is times 10, so you're not going to need much in the way of metal extraction. Scavengers, Legion, and weapon range at 0.5, so we're going to have some slow and short range units for this one, as long as a lot of metal generations. Let's jump back in and see how these teams are getting loading in. It does look like we have 68 aside or thereabouts, with a couple of stragglers still loading in.
Yeah, I don't know whether that means that the units are going to be fast or slow.
Hopefully our computers keep up, and I was keeping quite quiet before because I know nothing about computers. If I need a computer, I give it to Pradith and a couple other mates and just say, please build it for me.
So just just had Nightmare saying that it's forced load, not forced land. For anyone who is wondering, English is in fact my first language and only language. So take that as you will. And Major Donkey, to answer your question, is a live chat in the lobby sim? Yes, a live chat is in the lobby sim. So we have the YouTube official chat, the Twitch official chat, the YouTube and Twitch unofficial chats, the Discord chats, and the in-game lobby chats. And we're trying to keep track of them all.
Like we almost have everyone. There we go. Oh, it's one at a time for everyone.
Oh no, we didn't turn off the draft spawn order. Don't know if
I dare say a force start might just happen. No,
nope,
that's
it's
not.
going to be a quick for this one. I would have force started it and just watched the chaos as everyone spawns in where they spawn in, but I am also there's also a reason why I am not in charge of any of the events. If I was a moderator, I would be a good boy, but in situations like that, I would probably make slightly different calls just because the chaos is always amusing for stream.
Something you should get on, I reckon, being a moderator in this game, Prey, but one with no responsibilities because you are quite flippant with when you rock up to things.
What do you mean I'm flippant with when I rock up to things?
We're here every week.
You're here for
But
this.
when we're not,
What do you mean?
We're here on time most of the time, but not really all the time at all.
We just have trouble pressing the stream button. We're always here. It's totally different issues.
Just having a chat. How was your day? Oh yeah, it's 8:35. We should probably kick this off soon.
It's more along the lines of, sorry guys, it's 8:29. Let's get us set up. Which stream are we attached to? Are we on the live today? Are we on the official
sorry, my mouth
today?
is full, just having dinner.
Oh, sorry, just got a call. Something along those lines. It's life. It's life. I do believe we might need to set the total number of AIs to 0. It looks like somebody's added some AIs. They might be gone now though.
who's the real question is, do you want me to be casting with you guys or?
It's up to you. What are you going to have the most fun doing?
I imagine this is going to be a struggle in the middle.
If everyone who's watching hasn't noticed, I am a mic hog and a half, so I'm not going to begrudge anyone that runs away from me when it comes time to cast. And I think Elphus in chat, you're saying that it is neutral chaos. I would like to think of it as natural chaos. And here we go, kicking this one off. Leocry has had an interesting idea of 100 players versus 50 Raptors. I don't know how that one would go, but I wouldn't say no to seeing it. One of my favorite moments in all of the 50k event was the chance to play as Raptors against the absolute horde of people. That was that's one of my.
Is that a possibility for this?
I have no idea, but that was definitely one of my highlights in bar. Full stop. I've always found a lot of the streaming side of things to be a bit surreal, but that was a moment that really hit home for me. The option to do that because of the casting, that was phenomenal.
It was good because it didn't take much micro either. It was like select the units and send them in the right direction.
For me, it was select the units Twig had already tried to do something with and take them to my side.
That was actually the hardest part of that game, was just fighting between who controlled them. So we had a whole bunch of Raptors just walking back and forth on the same few pixels.
It helped us build them up.
It's much easier than trying to do it with an AI stealing your stuff, though.
We also kept having to control our own buildings to free up pop space.
It was good fun.
That was a really good fun thing. And Raptors is one of the big reasons I got into Beyond All Reason. There is always something really magical about an RTS that gives you essentially an infinite horde mode, where if you play well, you can win infinitely. But if you miss those crucial early steps, you end up in a loop that will fall you further and further behind, and you won't have the sheer volume of different types of firepower needed to punch through the queen at the end.
Quite the small map. 70-something players on each side, is it? Yep, 76. What do you reckon the go is to break these lanes earlier? Do you reckon there's just no chances of it? Too many players, too many comms. It's just going to turn into a late game.
Line up all of your comms on the front line and just march forward. Together we are strong. Then mass heal each other and mass attack, reclaim or resurrect the comms.
The comms going to have half the damage. I mean, sorry, half the range as well. I reckon they are.
Oh
god.
Oh god. I still kind of hope we see it.
Yeah, if that D gun is half range.
Oh, we are not the same side that I thought we were.
Very ballsy for the players jumping in the ocean on the opposite side. They've got about enough space to put down a lab, and that's their whole ocean taken up before they're in the face of another player on the opposing team.
Oh man, yeah, that's I would not want to be on the short sea in this map. If you are, can comms put down jellyfish?
I believe they can.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Straight away going
into jellyfish. Because that's going to be your only hope of keeping those seas somewhat... Oh, hey, it's Manira! Sorry. community member. I always like seeing people I know in-game. Sorry, that was really random. But yeah, no, jellyfish would most certainly be very, very crucial in holding these. I think even if you're in these high ground positions in the middle, chucking some jellyfish over the side is going to be quite important too.
That's a land-based torpedo launcher for those who don't know. It's also called an enemy if it's on the Armada side. I think it's Armada's an enemy and Cortex is jellyfish.
Doesn't come with Nemo, unfortunately. Just torpedoes. It doesn't sound like anyone wants to do the comm push. That's okay. We're as we said before, agents of chaos. Which ironically in 440. Hello and welcome everybody to the first game of the first small game of the 1 million downloads event. Wow, that was just a terrible start by me. But take two. But it does look like absolute chaos on the front line. The move speed of these comms is significantly enhanced. I thought this was reduced speed, but it does look like it is enhanced speed, melee range, comm battle. This is what a MOBA looks like in Beyond All Reason, everyone. And the healing rate does seem to be quite strong as well. The turret's not doing a lot of damage, but they are managing it quite nicely. Tank Tom, I see you're running from the front lines. No, you're breaking through the front lines.
He's so fast.
Leroy.
Go. You gotta be using those D guns, Tank Tom. There we go.
All the labs. He done all the labs.
All the labs. Oh, this is great. This is some chaos. Doesn't look like you're gonna get much further, Tank Tom, but I do like the try here.
Oh, another lab.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
You've done your job.
Does look like the blue team has been set to the back foot after that massive amount, but they do have air in on the other side of the map. These bombers with the enhanced speed, wonder how their bombs are going to drop. Doesn't look like as effectively as it's struggling to get any bombs off at all. Oh, with the reduced range, can it not drop bombs? Oh no, it can. It
imagine
can. It can. Never
that they're
mind.
going to be ridiculously short.
They were spread out nicely. That would have been quite funny if that was how that interaction
You
worked.
even shoot this down. It's so fast. Where's the anti-air?
Let's see if any anti-air torpedoes can... I love the spread on the bombs. For anyone watching, the last one hit there and the first one hit there.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's
that
just,
is huge.
Oh dear.
the anti-air can't catch it.
Right.
Just go air. Oh god, that's actually hilarious. Mass bombers
It's
might be the way to win
interesting.
this.
Jumping back out and watching both sides now. I figured now that my com's dead and I've had my fun.
I kind of regret not trying to do that at the start of the match as well. That was excellent.
I didn't expect it to be that effective. I was like, oh, well, cool, the comms at the front, we'll get this around, and then you go, ah, we don't have to stop.
Oh, red's going right. Tick's already in the back line, doing damage everywhere. They're 8 comms ahead. Thanks to you guys that broke through the back line. Without those getting rezzed, you did your medal worth of damage.
That's fantastic. I cannot believe how crazy this is with the extra speed on. Sorry if this isn't the easiest thing to track as a viewer. We're doing our best, but with the extra speed going on, it is a different beast altogether.
They feel absolutely ludicrous trying to move anything.
It
'Cause it doesn't move.
I love the moonwalk. If the comms are facing in the wrong direction, they're moving so fast they don't change directions. Oh, rocket bots are actually a really interesting idea because all they have to do is get their volley off and move on.
Oh,
Mmm.
can they shoot themselves in the back of the head with that, or?
They almost certainly can, or at least if not them, one of the other ones can, because these there were 5 and there are less, and they've only just now been engaged, so they shot themselves mostly. So maybe go with laser-based things. Considering that I think all the speeds are somewhat matched, anything with a laser on it is going to be quite the strong. What happened there?
I think comms?
I think
Yes.
comms.
If the comm goes down, it takes around every comm
Everything with it. Does look like blue is in a commanding position in this particular case.
I would love
map
to see
position-wise, but eco-wise, it does look like red is in advantage by 30% at the moment. So we'll see how this one transitions over time.
I want to see a whole bunch of metal storage, a whole bunch of energy, and then comms just going for walks, degunning everything while cloaked.
Yes.
Would you like to see comms being rezzed?
And that's the thing.
Yeah,
The
raising
comms
comms is the way to go.
comms are in this situation with the D gun and the speed. Comms are a ludicrously powerful asset, and I do love that idea of just massing some energy, some storage, and just moving through,
Yeah, you can
because
see
the
running
energy
over
energy
on the
usage
left,
isn't
and degunning
necessarily.
everything, and
Yeah,
then
the-
retreating back into safety. That's the way to do it. Oh, we
Yeah.
have a commander being dropped in the back line. Poor Mott going in with their red commander on the bottom left. Just gets in there
Yes.
so easy. D-gun, D-gun, D-gun. Taking out the energy. Taking out the labs.
All the important things.
All the important things. Get it all. Just keep going. Keep going. Ah, he's found the T2 lab. Low on energy though, and the surround bonus is gonna get him. But still, that is
But he takes a bunch of them out with him. You
plenty
get
of
in, you
damage
collect as
down
many
there.
commanders as you can, and then you blow them all at once.
And it looks like they're not going to be res, they're going to be eaten, which is a big advantage for the red team. Does look like Eco is now 75% in advantage for the red team. I don't know exactly how they're pulling it off to be quite so far ahead, but they certainly are. I think it is these backlines being unattacked that's making it the biggest difference. It does look like Cookie Destroyer is trying to achieve the same thing, pushing into the bases. Unfortunately, though, has been picked off by a lot of the air that is in the map. Those gunships doing a great job of cleaning this up.
He's a rather convenient color in that it's not too dissimilar to a bunch of the reds.
I thought he was red when I scooped over in the first place.
I think I might be playing the next one. I've just got the message from the wife. You're being too loud. Baby's sleeping.
That is one of the problems with one of these games. It is just that little bit too far. Too
The chaos
Emo,
is real.
no. Emo, no. Oh, makes it onto land just in time, but is being attacked by a lot of defenses. Gets in, detonates, good enough. Plenty of damage done right there. And this is all about the run bys. People, if you're good at a 6 pull or a Zerg rush, this is what you need to do. We do have Mutex heading into the back lines, getting potentially some D-guns off, maybe not. Probably just looking for a place to detonate. There is some good labs right here to try and do it. Could have done more, but plenty of damage done there. Just keep sending those comms in. Even with all these comm bombs, the comm count is pretty similar. Oh, termites! Termites with their speed are quite quite funny. That extra mobility, being able to run up and down cliffs, unfortunately not a lot of damage out of the termites. So they're not quite as effective as they could be, but I do like the ingenuity. There is a comm though, getting ready to push in, but has been forgotten for now. Does need to make use of that in the right hand side of the
How
map.
terrifying would rolling bombs be in this?
I am so glad you said that, and I really hope we
Because they
see
would
some.
be ludicrously fast.
Oh, someone do that, please.
Get yourself those scuttles into their base, ladies and gents.
Oh, that would be massive. A couple scuttles. It's hard to pick out what to
I wonder
watch.
how hard
Where's the crazy
decoy
stuff happening?
bombs hit for this. Oh, I see some. We
See
have
some
rolling
more.
bombs coming out of the no. And still. Scuttles?
Scuttles are good enough.
Where are the scuttles, Tom?
They just died. They're coming out of here we go. They're down here. Going this way.
Cannot see where you are, Mark.
You have to tell us like bottom left, top
in
right.
the middle.
In the middle.
They just died, but they're coming out of the middle of the blue.
Oh, okay, so coming from the blue side. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, they're coming like out of here-ish somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the Cortex lab? That'll tell us. I don't see a Cortex lab anywhere there.
Were they tumbleweeds?
No, I
Oh,
think
here
they were,
we go. It's Sletox on the far right near the ocean.
Okay.
yep,
Well,
there we
hopefully
go.
we see some good detonations, because right now we do have tumbleweeds that are making their way into the blue base. First couple of detonations have happened, and a couple just sitting in the middle of the map. They're trying to get to the into the geo, but they didn't quite make it. Instead, they found themselves a good chunk of build power.
We've got a bunch coming out of red as well. Oh,
Couple
those
have
ones are
made
the
it
rolling
through.
bombs.
Again, these rolling bombs, so quick, they're just dodging all the fire and trying to find themselves a good spot. They don't have too much vision range. Oh, these are being pulled back.
I'm
Interesting
assuming they were
tactic,
grouped with
but
something else.
getting themselves into where they need to go. They did try to get the fusion, but not quite. More on the way. I hope many more on the way, in fact. Red does seem to have
He's come in. One of his comms. He's got a few now.
Red does seem to have a good handle on the air right now, as well as the front line. These fast units doing a lot of good damage, but the air has been just constantly harassing in the back
We have a
lines.
termite swarm coming from red down to blue on the right hand side, just over the hill. Coming across a commander that's degunned a few, but there are some fusions in there. Are they going to hit them? Nope. Commander's just chasing these downs.
Run, boy, run! Good scouting information being gained by these termites. Good little bits of chip damage here and there. Just got to find that one spot that you can park them and get them to do all that damage. Termites not the quickest at killing things. Oh, good D-guns out of Shadow in the Sky. That was a hard predict, but a really good catch.
I've got tigers coming through the middle as well.
And
as
a
Spar with
Tsar.
tiny range on these.
The Tsar is cannot fire because it's having so much trouble with the turret's slow rotation speed that it keeps moving around the units and chasing itself away from getting any damage done. Really cool defense here by Von Helsing, using the advanced solars to block the path of other units. Held those tiger tanks up for a very long time. Probably not the most cost effective, but considering that T1 walls do nothing to stop this, it is certainly an option. Hover attack on the left hand side, just passing in.
Big boom.
Starting to make their way in.
Did we see our first nuke?
Oh.
I believe we did.
Nice. Didn't even expect nukes to come out of this one, but when you've got 3,000 metal in the production side of things, you can certainly get away with some good attacks. We're going to have to see a lot of anti-nuke coming down. Question is, can we get more nukes down before that happens? This is one of the advantages Red has with all that scouting information that they've been able to get consistently. They did know where they could and could not nuke, or at least they had a very good idea on it. This whole series of the Legion heavy assault T1 bots making their way into the back line, doing bits and pieces of damage here and there, but mostly just scouting the entire map and looking for some, wow, shadow in the sky with quite a few comms over here, all of which go down in one fell swoop. One of those very low on health got attacked by those T1 units, and it got all of them. Good catch right there out of the red team.
I believe a lot of those were the res comms from earlier. One of them was probably mine.
Quite a few Stormbringers being built up on the left side. We might see some decent damage done by that many. Here they go. Those bombs just spread like crazy, but we do have some APHIS that they are doing.
They mostly missed.
Oh god.
Oh, that's
the
funny.
epic Tyrannus coming out.
Oh dear.
Oh, here we go. Gets it. Nicely done.
Unfortunately, the epic Tyrannus is going to do a lot of damage to its own units. Good thing we have these Plutos down, which is effectively the flak cannons, as those are going to be absolutely devastating for shooting down the air. A lot of the air has been too fast for any missile based, so going for those guns is important.
You know,
just tracking this epic Tyrannus.
Just watch it get degunned. Duffy's chasing it down.
With the
So
comms
close.
being so fast, it is quite a viable option if you can line it up.
But it is going to get a lot of damage done, even if it does get degunned, so it's going to make it that little bit deeper in. Comms going down like crazy. These epic Tyrannus.
It has range.
Are crazy.
That's what its benefit is.
Crazy amounts of damage, crazy amounts of tanking. It is just pushing deep into the whole map and dealing so much. There is a reason this is the most expensive unit in the game.
Oh, 3 commanders down here. They're all going to go pop at once.
And it didn't even care about the damage. This seems to be the potential win condition for the red team. It is just going to keep punching through, and there is just nothing that can shoot it out of the sky at this stage. We haven't seen a single successful D-gun on it, and it just deals so much damage, it's taking the comms out even when they are, anytime they're trying to get close.
It has the range to keep them at bay as well. Seeing some desperate attempts to get those D-guns off, but with how quick this is moving, just being able to get underneath it is a
challenge.
That would be keep it over the sea and it won't get degunned.
That's actually a really clever idea, because if you aren't aware, comms cannot degun while they are submerged, so got to be careful of that. And just taking out all this sea eco will shift things hugely in favor of the
and you can
red
already
team
see that's
more
happening.
than it already is. That early attack by Tank Tom making all the difference, I reckon.
You single-handedly won it, Tom.
Yep.
Yep.
It definitely wasn't this epic Tyrannus or a lot of the other run-bys. It was all Tank Tom.
You've got to start somewhere.
Yep. Though I do think you set the tone.
Yeah.
Aggression.
Once I realized how quick they move, and you just go, huh. A lab from you, I'll take this one as well. Give everyone a hug as we go down.
It does not look like the D guns with that negative 0.5 with that reduction in range are actually able to hit the epic Tyrannus. A whole series of them were fired right underneath it, and no damage was done.
This thing just will
That
not go
is
down.
rough.
It is certainly consuming its metal value, and because of all the damage it's done, it's really opened the front up, and all of Pink's air is in the base, dealing damage to everything.
Less than 10 commanders left for the blue team. We're down to 8 now. We're hunting them down with this Tyrannus.
Very well played out of out of red this time. They kept the offense up, and they were very successful at warding off the handful of offensive attempts out of the blue team. The real big damage the blue team did was that big bombing run, but beyond that, it was very much so red's game to dictate. 346 kills on that epic Tyrannus. It has done the work. And now we're just going to need some torpedo bombers to take out what is left in the ocean, because it does look like the blue players have been pushed off the land.
They're all down in that bottom left corner now.
Maybe we'll see the duck come out to play.
Why would we
sure
need
yours done
ducks?
better
Ducks
than
are
that.
terrible.
It's alright, cataphracts are there now. These commanders are cloaked though, hard to find. Need a sonar in the water. They're all
Throw
in the
enough
left
things at them
sea.
and you'll find them. How did they not get seen there?
They are a little bit fast. Oh, we got the epic tumbleweeds coming around.
Oh god, not the epic tumbleweeds. However, they will be really good at killing comms in the water.
If happiness, you're
Yeah.
listening, you're gonna detonate it right now. You're close.
No, go back, go back. Jason, it's running towards the red side.
I do like to see the last ditch effort of Trio come against them and see what happens.
No, don't run away. Cowardice. Do not be cowardice. And there we go. That is the last comm down. Well played out of the red team. Nice, fun, silly match right here. And I hope everyone had a good time in it. So let's jump on. Get ready for some lobby sim, and then we'll jump into the next one.
I think I'm gonna have to play the next one, whatever it may be, just because I've got to keep the voice down. So let's
And
join
that will.
queue.
The next one will be the last one that we cast, but I do believe the event is going to continue on for however long afterwards. That unit is very strong. It also takes a 9,000 metal lab to build and 57,000 metal to build it. I do believe it's 57,000. So that it costs twice as much as a jug, if not more. And under normal circumstances, it's actually quite vulnerable to regular anti-air. Even T1 anti-air can take it out pretty well, but with the extra speed and with all the other air that was flying around, it certainly got free reign of the skies.
Wonder what we're gonna see in this game for we got disabled air by the looks. T3 is disabled.
Is this going to be the Tix one?
Perhaps. Weapon range 5, water levels down, so even though we're on a water map, it's going to be all metal by the looks. There we go. Coordinator has enabled the tick meme. So everyone better be Armada. There we go, everyone has been forced to be Armada. Are we going to be on the same team, Tom? That's the question.
I'm assuming I'm probably going to end up doing something very similar to last time, where you sort of just go charge and then jump across into the spec.
Yeah, it'd be something like that for me too. If we have the opportunity to do that, it might just be all ticks and it'll be hard to die. Actually, having said that, you manage to always kill your com somehow every game.
Hey, he lives most times.
For those tuning into the events online in the streams, this is the 1 million downloads celebration event. So the game has been downloaded a massive 1 million times. It's fantastic for a game that hasn't even really officially been released. My favorite game as well. I think it's just about my favorite game ever. I just wish I had more time to play it.
Yeah,
with the
geez, bar
weapon
devs,
range.
why don't you go back in time and build this game when we were young and had plenty of free time? Gosh, so inconvenient.
I think 2019 is when they first kicked things off. I wish I knew back then because I was living by myself, bachelor lifestyle, during COVID as well. Plenty of hours I could have been playing. I think I was working in the country too. Not much else to do. Looks like we're on opposite teams, Tom. Who will be the victor?
My money's on Prey.
The victor will be fun.
Nah, I got this one in the bag. So let's have a quick rundown. So we have negative 1,000 water level. We have weapons range 5. I don't know if that means it is multiplied by 5 or a total of 5. Extra units pack, build power 5. I think it is multiplied by 5. So we're going to have huge range units. Lava Tide's enabled at 10 minutes. Legion faction low tide is a lava tide is 10,000, so it's going to go up nice and high. And shield, regular shield rework, and scavenger pack. So this is going to be a high range version of the game.
Not to give away my tactic, but if I'm on the front line, I'm just building heaps of LLTs.
Where's the fun in that?
I can't wait till someone builds a single beamer just outside the range of your LLTs, and it will be able to kill all of them. Because you got to remember the beamer has, I think it's about 15% more range than the LLT, which means when you multiply it by 5, it's going to have significantly more range than the LLT. Should be somewhere in the realms of 6 times the range of the base LLT versus the 5 times that you will have. So somebody please make sure that you target down Twig. If you're listening, make sure that you find Twig in game and just absolutely slaughter him.
Or we might be on the same team now, Tom, if this gets kicked off. So you will die alongside me. Brothers in arms.
Looks like Disable Defenses is on, so we're not going to have any LOTs.
Ooh,
Good
okay,
catch there, Jest.
It's literally a tactic battle. What's your tactic on a
Captain Soban, this does not happen every week, so usually in this time slot is King of the Hill, and it's usually a little bit more manageable than it was tonight. But this is the 1 million downloads event that was thrown together by Nightmare, and we decided when we saw the invite that we would jump on in and cast it, because I don't think anyone else was available.
And just because this is the last game, we are All Reason No Logic, and if you saw the King of the Hill earlier, we do host them, like Prey just said, every week. You can jump over to our Discord if you want to talk to teammates, Also jump on the YouTube and the Twitch for AllReasonNoLogic if you want to check them out. But we are usually on the official one weekly.
We've got something in the realm of about 6 months of King of the Hill games.
Oh,
If you want to
well
have a
over
look at
that.
the
We're
backlog.
we're actually almost at a year now.
Nice.
No. Where are we going to start, Twig?
I was thinking
Front
smack bang in the middle
lines.
because everyone's going to
Yeah.
find me anyway on stream.
If they
Yeah,
ask
that's
for
kind of what
money,
I figured.
front lines.
Are there any eco bonuses on?
I did not see any.
No idea.
There is build power 5. And that looks to
No,
be it.
it doesn't look to be. Metal isn't excessive, so
Going smack bang in the middle, slightly towards the back, Tom.
yep. I was going to drop myself some solar, so I've got a bit of energy. But I kind of figure as long as we're both shooting at the same thing, we should be okay. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing could possibly go wrong. This is not full metal plate. This is 9 metal island. Full metal plate is just a flat metal plate. There's a couple of different ones, but the same general principles apply. You build your mexes directly on the metal, and you gain money. Does look like everyone has started to load in now and are placing. Twig, what do you think of all metal maps?
For these events, beautiful. Otherwise, yeah.
What about for raptors?
Yeah, it's fun. We could wait, you hinting at that for the next game? I think I'm going to bed.
Oh no, this is the last one we're going to cast, but I think the event will keep going with or without us. No, it is far too late for us to start a Raptors. But
I think the servers would struggle with a Raptors
it'll be
game.
fine. It's still the same unit cap.
The real question is, can we just walk out to the back lines?
I don't think you've got the abilities you had last game. No more Leroy.
Just 5 times range.
Hey, I've got range, and if there's nothing between me and where we're going,
I don't love how many
Where
of
are you?
our team are up on these islands. I don't know what you're going to do from there. We got some cowards.
Hello and
Yeah.
welcome everybody to 9 Metal Island. And right off the gate, we do have some long-range comms skirmishing it out in the middle. This is a 5 times range match for the 1 million download event, and this is going to be a tough time for all players involved. The first side to lose a comm is probably going to be the first side to go down. These comm explosions potentially 5 times the range as well, so could take out the entirety of this middle section. Tank Tom has managed to go down. Doesn't look like the explosions are that much of a large range. I do believe that this one is going to end up in the advantage of the red team, because with those units coming out, shots are being focused onto them instead of the other comms. It's a vision war, ladies and gentlemen, and the red team had the option to win it, but it looks like the blue team might end up winning it. What is that D-gun range?
that is
Sorry,
disgusting. I figured that was going to be the case.
what? And it does look like red's being pushed off the middle of the map. This is blue taking the middle. Sorry, Tank Tom, you are already out. You don't get to play it with the cool supersized units. Is this ticks only?
Yeah, I've just realised that there's not much metal coming out of these.
This is ticks
extractors
only.
on the low section.
So 5
yeah.
times range, ticks only. We'll see what happens. Defenses are turned off, so you'd better be on point with that micro.
Yeah, I was kind of assuming it would end up with enough in the middle, but it seems that we definitely did not. When I saw more comms shooting at us than we had shooting back, I figured the middle was lost.
And Twig, where have you ended up?
He's hiding in the
Much in the
back.
middle. I'm in the
He said he
middle.
was going to be forward. He was lying.
I said middle.
Sure, you did. Sure, you did. Your blue team, right?
Red.
Nah, he's red.
Oh,
He's up here.
Yep.
I now realise why all the players started on these islands is because your metal extractors produce a lot more up there.
Significantly more. It's only one on
Yes.
the ground, and I do believe that it is 2
I think
up the top.
Am I wrong in saying conversion is actually the better option now?
I think conversion's the better option. Man
most
riding shrimp has
God.
worked out the state of the game. Just sending those D guns up into the high ground from the low ground. You got to make use of that lovely little D gun. Just keep those things firing. If you have enough energy, you can keep them going. With that insane range, they're going to pick up at least something along their path.
Okay, time to start.
Oh,
doing
some of those laser-looking things are just the ticks shooting back.
They are. The lasers are either the ticks or the comms. There is nothing else.
I didn't realize that some of those were ticks when we started off. I kind of assumed that everything was shooting that was comms. But the
Yellow
ticks have a
laser.
ludicrously long range with this.
Oh yeah, 5 times range, which means that these ticks have a range of 700 compared to the comms, who have a range of 1500, so half the range for those ticks, but that is still plenty of range to do damage. You have to try and pick your engagements this one, because you need to bring more firepower to bear in a large arc than your opponent does. If you've played some StarCraft, you know the advantage of playing in an arc. And the comms are going to be the sentry turrets that pick off the units while they're staging. So we'll see exactly how this one goes. Does look like blue's going very heavily into production in the back, into eco in the back line. Red doing a similar thing as well, but it certainly looks like more units
Slightly
coming out of red
blue-favored.
for the moment.
Army values are relatively similar, slightly in the blue favor. What'll be really interesting to see is what happens when the armies start to collide. What happens then?
Just like we're seeing on this right-hand side, blue has decided that they have enough ticks right now, and that's one of the things about these masses of units. Once you start gaining momentum, you should continue, because it does take more than one shot from a tick to kill a tick. So if you can bring it back down to a trickle, you're going to be in a really good position. Just make sure not to lose your units to the explosion of buildings. Great, good bit of damage done right here, and it does look like the massing of units on this right-hand side is doing a good job. But on the left-hand side, we're seeing a similar story out of red. They're getting good engagements here, slightly more efficient, but the army size is slowly increasing on the blue side, which means we're going to need the red players to switch on in the back very soon, or some good damage coming out of the red team to try and mitigate some of this. But with that middle ground being held by the blue team, that little bit of extra space is going to help them quite a lot. That high ground giving them that slight metal advantage, allowing their frontline players a little bit more leeway, both in numbers and metal.
I love seeing those commanders just firing off those D guns.
The long D guns are ridiculous. I have a feeling that Wacky Wednesday this week for our stream might be a little bit more chaotic now that I know that there's certain things like this that I can do.
Oh yeah. I love that you can see exactly where the commanders are standing just based on where all the scars have come from.
If you put enough scars in the ground, the ticks will not be able to traverse them, just as a heads up.
That is a good point.
Things aren't looking great for my team, are they?
They are not. The blue offensive on the right-hand side is ridiculous, but the army value is creeping back towards the red side, so we could see some major change. That's going to come down to a lot of the D-gun pressure. Once you start massing these ticks, though, it is very hard to push back.
Can't build a T2 economy.
Of course not, it's ticks only.
I can do
You
ticks.
can
only up
scale
to
just as
T2.
hard with wind. We've seen that
True.
done before.
Yes, true.
Until you get to you can basically
Twig
scale
on
wind
plus
just as hard as a
68.
fusion, can't you?
Twig on plus 68 metal right now. Compare that to a lot of his compadres at around about plus 40 to 50. So he definitely did have the right idea with the conversion.
But I'm not seeing many units coming out of Twig.
They died. I built about 50 ticks and they did nothing.
Does look like
Is the
everyone
game paused
is.
for you guys?
Yes, the game has been
Yes.
paused because everyone is lagging. We're just trying to catch up right now. I'm sitting at 5:14, and catch up is quite far off of that.
Oh, you know what the problem
Yes.
is? Unit cap. I'm getting close to unit cap at 224 out of 235 players. Sorry, not players. Units. So what is the balance between wind, conversion, metal extractors, and how many units you have?
I believe 80 metal powers 2 labs off of 8 build towers is the most efficient production of ticks that you can get. For most ticks per second.
I do believe there might be a server issue because we're certainly not catching up. We're falling further and
No.
further behind. We do have a couple people in chat saying that the game has ended. Twig, can you just try slash pause twice to see if we can unpause this?
Nothing's happening.
Yes, I do believe that we have outdone ourselves and crashed the server yet again.
Either that or it's just us.
Nah.
Our slow
I'm seeing
Australian internet.
A lot
lots
of
of
players
people
saying
saying that it's
ended.
dead.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like people have left the game. We're going back to the menu. Let's join them.
Yep. One of the things that can cause a bit of lag is mass control of units. So if you're having a lot of players microing a lot of ticks, that is the potential end result. Though I think that's the first actual in-game crash I've witnessed in over 3 months in the game. So
I don't
nicely,
mind it. I'm undefeated for the night.
so nicely done there. All right, everyone. I think we're going to call this one there. It's approaching midnight for us down under. Hope you've all had a really good time. There you go, we've just heard a 9800 X3D wasn't behind at all. Well, bugger you for having such an awesome CPU. I would be jealous if I wasn't happy with my water-cooled setup. Anyway, we're going to leave everybody there for this one. Thanks for tuning in and watching. We've been All Reason No Logic. I've been Praedith. Joining me has been Twig and Tank Tom with this surprise event. We hope you all had a very good time. I do believe the event's going to keep on running, so if you want to catch the games, feel free to jump in and watch the and spectate while the game is going, or feel free to play. That's my big recommendation. Thanks to Nightmare to setting this one up, and I think that's where I'm gonna leave it this one. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, both to the official and our stuff. If you want to see some slightly more balanced King of the Hill, join us next weekend. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you next time.
And I don't know if we've got any replacement casters. So, is anyone else streaming this that we can hand over to?
Look at.
Galliano just messaged, we are from Australia. Yes, we are. And we are All Reason No Logic. Jump over to our YouTube and Twitch if you want to show us some love. If you've got the APM during this lobby sim.
I imagine it's not too bad for most people during this. It's normally just us that are madly trying to get all the bits working in the background.
Just one final check with Nightmare there if there's anyone to take over. Otherwise, yeah, it might be signing out on the end screen for us. No reply. Saw it in chat. Sorry, Nightmare.
All
No
good.
worries.
All right, thanks
You guys
everyone.
all
Cheers,
stick
Von
around.
Helsing, and we'll catch you all next time.
That's it. We'll be back with King of the Hill next Sunday. Enjoy the games, people.
We'll see you around.
Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by All Reason No Logic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill. Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players in variations of this game mode. Or be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. All Reason No Logic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, Commanders.